Hey, what's going on YouTube? Quite a week so far in the indices, and here's the dollar. So far down for the week, and but not much downfall compared to the Dow, Nasdaq, and the S&P, as well as crude. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. We'll see where this ends up this week. It looks like a falling star so far on the week, but we still got a day to go. See what happens. Um, apparently, Shanghai closed for the second day as their markets slide like 7% again. So that's like 15% in the past 3 or 4 days. You can see here on a weekly S&P. You can see how that steep trend line is now being broken on the S&P, and I just want to put this in perspective on a weekly chart because everyone's saying, everything's just falling apart, but which is true. But to be accurate, it hasn't broken down on that pattern yet on the weekly. It's certainly bearish, no doubt, but it's slamming support right now. So let's give it, another week and see what happens. Definitely bearish. On a monthly, it's broken down. So since the month has just started, we can't really tell where it's going to end up. Now, the Dow, on the other hand, that's a lookout below kind of scenario that we talked about, how this steep inclined support line on this left, right shoulder, head and shoulders top pattern, absolutely no support. It just went right through, and it's been falling ever since, what was it, the day before Christmas, or the day after Christmas. So here's a weekly, definitely a down week for the Dow. We'll see if it can recover tomorrow. You never know what can happen, but it doesn't look good. I believe the S&P is going to follow, breaking down. So just really short and sweet how it just broke down. And you can see on a monthly that the Dow is still above its trend line. So just to put it in perspective for everybody, we haven't broken the trend yet, the long-term trend yet. The pattern is broken, the chart is broken, but the support is still there for the monthly. And just to go back here real quick and find out where the definitely broke down on a weekly. So here's our trend up here. Definitely broke down once it came to this point, just fell out of the sky. So it's still a lookout below kind of scenario. You got some support at 16, but it broke down below 17,000, and we'll see how the week ends up. Crude oil is looking more and more bearish. It did come down and fill that gap like we talked about on a daily, and once it filled the gap, it just kept going. So we're looking at a tremendously bearish pattern below 34, and it just kept going. Went all the way down to 32.25. So, well, Jim Willie's calling this thing below 30 or 30-ish, where things start to hit the fan. So it's like 7% down for the week. Another 3%, and we'll get Jim Willie's predictions, see where we end up. It's like a wow scenario. If you look on a monthly, you can see where the support starts to come in below 34. But it's hanging on to a tether. It might as well just bounce right here. But if the markets are going to be ruined by everything else going down, we're still looking at this crude as a trigger. It's been a trigger ever since it went below 38. So now we're at like 2004 lows, I heard. Just crazy. We'll see what happens when it gets to 30-ish. See if some municipal bonds go bankrupt, pensions, OPEC countries, all the warnings that Jim Willie gave us. Pretty smart guy, so I'm going to listen to what he's got to say until things change. Gold and silver. And if anybody was listening when I said that this probability, kind of a pattern, when the 3, 5, and 8 start to cross over the 34, you can see how it just kind of, it starts out and then it breaks previous highs and it just takes off. That's a good 30 points on the gold. If anyone was watching that, caught it for a break. I call this the launching pad. Once it started breaking the previous high, then you take on it for a ride. Beautiful chart. That's the kind of charts I like to just take swings on. Here we have a weekly, and we talked about that pattern that was forming like a bottom pennant, how the price was going in between, like a corkscrew, and then it had to pop either down or up. So it definitely broke up. It's definitely breaking into the lower highs, previous lower highs, and we got stopped 50% of this candle. So what happened on the daily? If we can keep consolidating like this, we can see that on a weekly chart in the future, and that'll be a bigger run for you. So we can see if we can get this 3, 5, and 8 start to cross each other, consolidate for a little while like it did here, and see if we can get the moving averages above the 34 and take a longer swing trade. Swing trades take 3 to 6 months, but it's a very high probability trade, and that's what I look for. Same as silver. We haven't seen a pop in silver yet, but this is the weekly, or no, this is the daily, just to make sure. We can see a silver break once it breaks previous highs. So 1450, once you see that on a daily, breaking previous highs, can get a good 20-30 points again. Very nice, easy trades to spot. And you see on a weekly, it's still consolidating. It's trying to move up into previous lows. I think a 1550 was a major resistance line from before. See if I can find it. No. Yeah, 1550 right in here. So we can break above 1550, then we might see a weekly trend change on silver. So we got ways to go, lots of work to do, but you never know what's going to happen. This thing could just take off to the moon because of the dollar, or the crude oil goes bankrupt. Everyone's flooding to physical metals. But there you have it. That's all I got. Looks like everything is coming into fruition that we talked about. Look out below on the S&P, the Dow monthly. Still a lookout below. Look at the Dow and S&P are just ready to break their trend. Let me get some lines in here real quick. Yeah, see how it's still above the monthly trend. Anything could happen. This thing can reverse, consolidate, and move higher. You never know what's going to happen. But definitely this week is down quite a bit. Quite a bit. Not sure exactly how much, but from 18,000 on the Dow, yeah, from 18 all the way to 16. So in the last few months, it's down 2,000 points. And if it crosses over this in the next month and closes below, it could be a look down, look out below for a while. If this thing breaks down, it's going to be broken for a while. Years is what I'm talking about. So there you have it. Let me know what's going on out there. Thanks for watching, and share, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.